still talking about dream control and really these three aspects of it: changing an object into something else, making an object or something disappear, and then making an object or even like a dream character appear. And so in the next video, we'll be talking about this really great progression of techniques, which he calls his hand, eyes, door method, I guess you could say. Before doing that, though, I wanted to talk a bit about how dream control really works, and it basically across the board, but really when you're talking about, changing an object, making it disappear, or making something appear, really comes down to intent and expectation, and something he describes here as a force of will. But force of will can be a kind of hard thing to describe. It's kind of like a theory. You can't really grab it, right? And so he has a great explanation of what it means here, and then also a good analogy. So force of will is something which is difficult to describe, but it's intended to communicate that you should do your best to feel the object is becoming what you desire, or disappearing or whatever. Focus on your intention to change what is there and expect that the change will happen. Okay, and then this is the analogy part. For further clarification, you can imagine that you have the power to shoot fire from your hand. So this is basically like, waking life, imagine this. If you had this ability, how would you make that happen? Most likely you would extend your hand outward, perhaps tense the muscles, or otherwise try to make it happen with the mental element of focus. Although you have no context for how this might work, you naturally expect that it would require focus and effort, if not some type of motion. Focusing on the goal and communicating it to occur with your mental psychic abilities, which he refers to as force of will, can work off these types of intuitions, so long as you have the confidence that you'll actually will be successful. And then a few other things he kind of points out in here is like, the more positive your outlook, really the better. You're really trying just to erase all these different levels of doubt you may have in your mind. Oh yeah, and then he also talks about how sometimes people can get caught up in this, in the lucid dreaming practice, where they're testing out things to see, if it can be done within their dreams, versus doing it within the dream, but having the expectation or the outlook that you will be successful. And really, it's some kind of mental gymnastics you have to do there, but that's something that you should really try to get a grasp on. Something I still struggle with myself. But really, when you have the expectation and the more happier outlook of it working, it wildly increases the chances of you actually being able to pull it off. So keep that in mind. And then in the next video, we'll get into the specifics of his hand, eyes, door technique.